I want to just quickly go through the weekly launch updates. I know everyone's updated their delivery dates, so that's great. Thank you. And then after we go through this, I want to talk about March 2022 team deliverables. Everyone's gone through and added their top 3 deliverables, and we'll go through those. And we're going to be actually assigning a progress percentage. So you can see here for my 3 deliverables, I've got 50%, 20%, 40%. So we'll want to keep that up to date. Lee, 0, 10, 10.
Yeah.
So we'll go through that. We're not going to have time to go through everyone's, but we'll probably everyone on this call, I guess we can do.
We can each person talk about one thing of the 3, and then just name your percentages as an estimation. So
yeah. Lee, do you want to do the updates? Do you want to type in the actual percentages?
Yeah. As just call them out per person, and then we'll write them on the call.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's quickly get through the launch dates. Any updates? I know Ganesha is running late, but he told me that the dates are up to date here with the trustless Ethereum bridge. Anyone else have anything they want to discuss here? Z, I'll get back to you on One Wallet. We'll probably do that after the deliverables. Any noteworthy updates? Great. We can move on to the March deliverables. So all the dates are up to date here. For the folks listening, you can go in and take a closer look at the different milestones. Okay. Let's talk about March deliverables. I'm just going to work down my list here in Zoom.
Yeah.
So Z, you're first. Where is Z?
Fellows here.
There we go.
There we go. Gabe, do you mind just click into it, the One Wallet update, so people can get some visual guide in terms of what I'm talking about
for the launch?
Yeah, just click into it. So just click on weekly metrics, weekly update, because this is my first time kind of. The first one right there, click on the toggle. All right, so just kind of a quickly rundown in terms of, I'll be very brief. In terms of the way I think about activation and growth, is really these 3 kind of a funnel metrics. Number 1 is obviously the app install. Right now we're oversaturated because we only have 100 internal seats. But the good news is Apple just approved, as of this morning, the 10,000 internal test flight. So we should have the ability to start onboarding more users. So that's good news. In terms of the right below that funnel, which is the number of people on the wait list, these are people who actively provide their Apple ID. So we're growing, at a relatively healthy clip, around 27% week over week, from 733 to 936. Another one, kind of at the top of the funnel in terms of how I really think about community buildup and community engagement, is really the number of members on the One Wallet Discord, 225 to 324, pretty healthy, 44% growth. So the goal is basically 50,000, One Wallet users, but roughly around 500,000 Discord in the coming, not obviously this week or next month, but that's kind of the larger ambition for 2022. And then the second thing that's really important for us from last week is basically the creative brief. I'll be working with Adrian and the rest of the creative team to really start creating the launch campaigns, the digital assets, all the campaign media. So I already dropped a creative brief, which on this Wednesday, I'll be in the Palo Alto office to walk people through, and we'll share that externally with all the Harmony community members so they can actively participate. So that's the second bullet. The third bullet is ETH Austin. ESA is the DRI for this. So we'll be kind of like, we're getting closer and closer. The date is March 17th to the 19th. I think altogether, there are probably about 10 of us from the team and it was in the Harmony community participating. So click on it. You can take a look at the details. If you're around the area, drop by or support us directly, via the very different Harmony communities. 88 Rising, many of you guys know, this is kind of our crescendo moment mid-April. And then this is kind of where we're going to be doing major consumer-facing activation. This will be the kickoff of the One Wallet campaign officially. So you can see the very different presentation, the plan of records, and also the kind of the execution strategy behind the 88 Rising Coachella activation. And then fifth, obviously, one of the most important things, not just about the marketing and obviously all the very different community growth, is really more about what are some of the practical, real use cases that we can have in the One Wallet. So I've been start drafting up, the very different use cases and even partnership. For example, how do we work with the various different TGI local communities and also restaurants? I know, to be very exact, for example, Lee's been hosting the TGI Thursday in San Francisco, Atlas Cafe. So it would be amazing to partner with that coffee shop, say, hey, take One Wallet, take one tokens using One Wallet, and you get a discount, and we should enhance the user experience there. The TGI, meetup every Wednesday in Palo Alto. Let's use that, right? The Saturday morning, afternoon events that Steve and I have been hosting in Palo Alto, same thing. Let's use that as a way to demonstrate the use cases of One Wallet in real life. Last but not least, Maddie, thanks for babysitting the timesheet. As many of you know, we're onboarding a lot of contributors to One Wallet activation campaign, and then I'm actually changing the timesheet format. I know many of you guys are approving timesheets. Not a big fan of just brainstorming for 2 hours on XYZ. That to me is useless, and I've been pretty clear with my team. And I think Maddie, you're on board. I want every single time sheet element to be linked, so I can actually look at the inputs and outputs. And also there should be, if you're working with some external DAOs or various different partners, I want them to be linked directly to their public profile. So that's kind of a quick updates in terms like last week. And then this is gonna be the format. You guys can check in on a weekly basis, and all the various different data sources also there. So, all right.
Thanks, Z.
No question. Yep.
You went a little off script there, but that's fine.
Maybe
That's
special.
It's the first time, so I just want to give everyone some context, but going forward, yeah, we'll be following the script.
Okay.
No, all good.
So give us your 3 percentages for the 3 items.
Well, the percentages, I think, right now everything's now trending yellow. So it's not been percentage. We're just starting off, right? So there's not a baseline. But next week we'll have better percentage tracking.
Well, I'm gonna grade you. I'm a hard grader. So
right. Oh, trending yellow. I mean, so just put a C- if you want to put a grade on it. Yeah.
C- is 60%.
You can put whatever. I think that's actually like 50%. That's not even a pat. I guess 60. You can put 60.
It's a pretty hard grading curve. We haven't activated anybody at Coachella yet. We haven't launched the DAO yet. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Z. We got to get through. Matt, I see you've already updated. Do you want to pick one of your 3 deliverables?
Sure.
Tell us more about it.
I will pick, given that I've made the most progress on it, owning the E3O operations. We depart for E3O on Wednesday, and we're taking 40 scholars, 10 from Blue DAO and 30 from the LATAM areas, and a team of 13 Harmony core and contributors, and 4 ecosystem partners as well. We're going to be hosting our very first Harmony One TGI soccer tournament or football tournament out in Rio. So we're very excited to kickstart that and really just get the community involved, really support the local scholars, build out our LATAM presence there, and have a great time playing some soccer together as well. So we're diamond tier sponsors for the main event. We're also sponsoring the Launchpad and staying behind for the hackathon. We are also launching Project Y in Rio, which will be giving spot grants to various Web3 projects through the hackathon and through the builders that we meet there. So find our internal planning page at harmony.one/Rio, and you can see all of our progress as we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Maddie. Next up, Lee, you're up next.
Okay, cool. So I promised Z that I would onboard 1,000 people to Timeless. So far, I've onboarded no one to Timeless. But also want to share that we talked about the BTC DAO actually on the shuttle trip with Leo and Steven and Z on the way home. And I think it's been part of the discussion. So the idea is that we could independently make the BTC bridge into a DAO, as there are a lot of other independent bridge projects already that this will be a really good test for us to think about like externalizing. We already have Explorer, RPC DAO. I think this is just the next step. Then really, I want to also get Ganesh's feedback and consult with him, but just started because that was our conversation, and I felt excited to take that on. That we could demonstrate that we could really externalize one of our key products as a DAO. So that's my plan. Yep.
Great. I'll go next. So kind of continuing on what Lee said, I'm really starting to think more and more about how to decentralize as quickly as possible, and it really does feel like that we can package our features, specific features, DAOify it, and kind of like let that community run with it. So I'm really thinking through the Explorer at the moment and how we can turn that into a DAO. So among other projects, that's the one I'm focused on right now. I guess about 20% done. I've kind of specced out the mandates, the deliverables, all the elements we need to form a DAO. And I will be sharing that shortly. I've got a handful of potential candidates in mind who I think would do really well. But this would be another step towards full decentralization once we can DAOify all of our products. Okay, Leo, you are up next.
Yeah, I already updated. So the Rosetta integration, I think 80% done. So we already hand over our partner with all the latest fix and Dockerfile partner doing the testing right now for the Rosetta integration validation process. So RPC implementation and the new architecture, we started some initial investigation a while ago that's been paused due to the Rosetta work. So we'll resume the work, doing more investigation and the POC. For the blockchain and checkpoint and the level DB app optimization, the code has been merged and still doing internal testing on that.
All right. Thank you, Leo. RJ.
Sure. So for Quasar smart contract design, it's mostly there. It's about 90% done. For the efficient signature collection, the code is already ready. So the plan this month is get it launched on testnet and also be ready for mainnet launch. That will really prepare to make it possible for the 1 second finality on the mainnet. So that I would say 50% done for the efficient signature collection on the consensus. So for research DAO and planning, already started. I mean, the research DAO already published the analysis on our security model, the consensus sharding and incentive design. And we already started on some of the Eng task kind of specification. I still need to work more on detailing kind of more tasks that's kind of coming out of the research report. So I would say for this part is like 40% done.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, RJ. Devin, I've got you next.
Hey, yeah. So on the DAO side of things, with Rachel and Sam, onboarding 5 DAO tools, whether they be on-chain or just assisting the DAOs that are currently on Harmony. Good progress there. I've got 2 of the 5 scheduled for today. One that we think we can get on today. And then revamping the DAO workflow, the DAO tooling workflow specifically with Sam and Rachel as well. And I think we've got a pretty good handle on that. So I'm going to say 20% for that category. Coordinating NFTLA, about 80% done, should be really good. We'll be highlighting women in NFTs and metaverse, and we're going to do a lot of cool things there. And then at Z's behest, Timeless Wallet contributor, which I'm very excited for. And then I've also discussed with Claire, who's on the One Wallet team, helping out with App Store optimization, facilitating that, have a lot of connections in that space to essentially make sure that it's more visible and has higher app conversion rates.
Great. Thank you, Devin. Konstantin, I'll go you next.
Yeah, hello. Beacon Epoch block synchronization is ready, I guess, near 90%. It's working, I tested it, and it has some problems in GitHub testing, but I know how to solve them, and I guess tomorrow I'll fix it. And other tasks are not started yet.
Okay. So 90.00 sounds good?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, Adrian.
Okay, so I'm working with Z on the Timeless Wallet video strategy. I would also just call it like a marketing strategy as well, because we have some boots on the ground things that we're doing as well for it, some guerrilla stuff. So we're about 20% on that. Onboarding 2 new video editors, I'm about 50%. I have so many submissions that I have to go through. It's really hard to find someone that we want because it's a very particular set of skills that I'm looking for, and most people don't have all the skills needed. And then E3O, NFTLA video campaigns, we're about 30% on that, partially because we have to go there and film it, but yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Adrian. Daniel, you're up next.
Right. 2 things I'll highlight. The first is the 10 meetups via Ambassador DAO. So I'm working very closely with a couple of the governors who are spearheading our meetups. 10 might not seem like a very high number, but we're scaling that pretty aggressively over the next few months, and we're using this as an opportunity to learn our lessons with a smaller number rather than a larger number. So I'm actually meeting with 2 of them in person today to iron out a bunch of process related documentation and etc. But tied to that, and this is goes to Timeless Wallet, and I cannot take credit for this suggestion, but one of the DAO governors actually suggested that we begin onboarding people to Timeless during our meetups. So as we continue to scale up, and of course I will continue working with Esty and Z on this, but as we hold these in-person meetups around the world, if we can onboard people to Timeless every single meetup, it certainly would make it should make an impact. And there's also a social media campaign that we're looking to create. Social media campaign, like as in like community level social media campaigns on Reddit, Discord, and Telegram, and trying to strategically get people to onboard onto Timeless, get them to know about it, and so on. So those are 2 pretty exciting things that I'm working on at the moment.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Yuri.
Okay. So first, it is Bitcoin Bridge features. It contain overpay feature, also better wallets monitoring. So it's done about 40%. Next, it is Horizon Bridge UX. We have started working on this together with Sergey. So it's done already on 20%. Need to sync finally UI version with you with GIF and with Ganesha and with Valeria also. After this, we will continue work. And I have started integrate Crazy subdomain to one wallet. It's on 10% maybe. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Yuri. Peter, I've got you next.
Okay, so the first one there is project plan for 88 Rising. We have our kickoff meeting this Wednesday. And out of that, the work output should be a project plan that we're going to break down by task and by owner, and then also by time. And really excited to get that going. Next piece there is Africa initiatives. I'm going to work with Sam to figure out exactly my role there. My interest there is really in developer education and also working with Daniel on the ambassador piece there. Next piece is Game Developer Conference. And I'm speaking, and so I'm preparing a deck for that. And also kind of targeting small to mid-sized publishers that I could have meetings with while I'm there. Hopefully get them on, have them build on Harmony.
Great. Thank you, Peter. Next up, we have Essa.
Okay, so for standardized event planning, Matt and I have been working on restructuring just the organization of our team. And so we've actually had a meeting this morning to outline specific duties and roles that everybody on the events team will be playing to kind of better feed into the events. We don't want one person just running everything, and there's too many things that are going missing, and there's a lot of stress going into that. So we have a little bit more organization now with that. I'd say that's probably 50% done. There's still a lot that we need to optimize on that, and a lot of things that we need to play out to be able to understand what's best fitting and what's not working as well. 10 grantees at ETH Austin. Right now we have everything in Austin working. I'm going to say probably 5% of that is done. I think that we need to restructure our strategy for Austin to be able to optimize what we want to get done there. And then Coachella activation, we've started meetings with that as well, but that's still very much in the works, and we have meetings moving forward with that as well. So maybe like 2% for Coachella. There's a lot to be done there. Or 5 is good too. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Essa. Sam, you're up next. Where are you, Sam?
I'm
There you
taking a
are.
nap. I
There
figured
you
I'd
are.
just take a nap during the all hands. All right. So first off, I have to, as I have the floor for just a second, I want to thank the entire events team around ETH Denver again. I think we're finally all crawling out of our sick holes, which I really appreciate. And the one thing I want to flag is that we do have a post-mortem retrospective. The link is in the Avengers event Telegram group. So let's see if we can fill that out and post that and publish it by Friday. So regarding the stuff that Give actually cares about, launching 5 DAOs, deploying a DAO dashboard, and publishing the Q1 DAO report. We're actually doing fair. Go ahead, Give.
No, so someone's got their microphone on. There's a lot of background noise. Could you all please mute?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, Sam, go on.
So the 5 DAOs, we're actually in a pretty good shape because we have, DAO House, we're almost ready to launch. Give, you've been working really well with let's see, what's it called? Snapshot instance. So we're going to have that going live. Coordinape is in good shape. So there's a bunch that are fairly close. We just have to push them over the edge. And so we also have we've created a DAO pipeline, DAO tooling pipeline that kind of tracks where everything is. And there's a bunch of stuff there on Notion for you guys to take a look. The dashboard, the DAO dashboard, this is a landing page / operations that people will be able to see, which is great. And the DAO report, we're coming to the tail end of Q1. And so as I've tried to encourage everybody in all of our DAOs all the time to be very, very radical in your transparency, about reporting the work that you've done and accounting for the assets that you've used. We are also going to do the same for the DAO ops. So at the end of March, we will publish the Q1 DAO operations report that'll have funding, that'll have tooling, that'll have all the stuff that we've done so far in Harmony DAOs. So watch for that. 30, 25, 5.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Ganesha.
Yeah, on the Bitcoin bridge, we haven't upgraded the contracts, so there are some features like relay. Currently, it's permission. We want to open it up for public, so that one, and there is some liquidation related features we need to add. These are all smart contracts, and UI and other components Yuri and other guys are handling. And this is around 30%, and then vault incentives, we are revising the incentives and also plan to make it very profitable, give out the internal vault fee earnings also to the externals, so that is more encouraging for vaults to participate. These are also be baked into the smart contracts, so that's around 10% done. And finally, the big item, brushless Ethereum bridge. There are several tasks on the contracts, clients development, and also front end, etc. On the smart contract, I'm working with the another person. We are on track for the next month release, and it's about, I would say, 30% of the remaining tasks. Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you, Ganesha. All right. Next up, Max.
Hey guys, so you can see the percentage written there. In terms of delegation data pruning, the pull request is ready, just waiting for RJ to greenlight it, and then we can merge and schedule a hard fork. The second step, which is the validator wrapper archival state cleanup, I'm still looking into it. It's slightly tough to, sorry, it's a slightly tough one to solve, so that's at 10%. And then in terms of the SDKs, again, we're at 30%. This is not too complicated, but there is some nitty-gritties attached with the Go SDK that I need to resolve.
Great. Thank you, Max. Next up, Jack.
Hey guys, so I put the percentage there. First off, kicking off the Harmony Venture Network. The easy part is done, where we're introducing a program, where Harmony Ecosystem Builders that were part of the Harmony Hackathon winners or part of the Harmony Ecosystem Fund grant recipients now have the opportunity to grow to the next level by presenting the narrative, their roadmap, the developments. So think of it as a VC sort of an arm, but not necessarily holding any funds. So we're trying to bridge the developers and builders that have completed, because we launched, just to back up a little bit, we launched the Harmony Ecosystem Fund back in September. It took a little while for grantees, for people to find out about the grant, to apply for it, then to build on it. Then there are some teams that are finally ready for the next level of funding, for example, or for growth. For growth, then they'll need funding. So we built this Harmony Venture program to help these teams bridge between this gap. And we're also looking towards partners where they are interested in investing in ecosystems such as Harmony and onboarding them as well as investors. So we're sort of trying to bridge between the teams that are ready to be invested with the venture capitalists or angel funds that are ready to invest. So the program has been launched. The link is over there. It's called Harmony Venture. Check it out when you get a chance. The reason it's 40% is because there are still a lot of onboarding necessary for the investors coming in that are interested. And also us trying to talk more about it and start marketing the Harmony Venture program to all of the ecosystem participants. So there's a little bit more work to do there. And second, there's onboarding of Gala. Gala is going to be helping out with our ecosystem grant. So I'm a quarter part there. And next up is on the engineering side, where we have ChainStack, which is going to be providing an RPC endpoint for Harmony. They are ready. They're just going through their testing right now. So it should be ready in about 2 weeks. And we're really close to another RPC network partner. As for Cloudflare, we're still a little bit behind on that. So Cloudflare rollout is all about being able to parse out the differences between certain RPC calls, where a busier RPC call called getLogs will go into a different route, whereas all the other calls will go through the regular RPC nodes that we have. So we're about 30% there. I really want to complete more and more work towards the beginning of the month, because the last week of the month will be GDC, where the Game Developer Conference, where I'll also be participating. So you'll be super busy towards the end of the month. I have to get things done as soon as possible. That's it for me.
All right, thank you, Jack. Okay, we have three more to go. Victor, you're up next.
Hey, hi guys. Yeah, just a quick update from my side. In terms of percentages, I think the SIP chain one is about 50%. Explorer DAO is 20, and the DAO House piece is 20% as well. Just a quick one about SIF chain. We've talked to the SIF chain guys. Max from SIF chain I'm working closely with him, and Abe. We're just doing marketing piece now. So we've done the technical analysis. SIF chain looks like a good fit for Harmony, and now we're just looking at the marketing piece. So there's about 7 activities that we're going to do related to marketing. In terms of the DAO House integration, we're kickstarting that again. So I've taken the code and I'm just refreshing it, just merging the necessary changes into our PR and pushing it back into the DAO House repository, and just reconnecting with those the guys in DAO House as well.
Awesome, thank you, Victor. Okay, Danny, you're up next.
So as far as the videos, we're probably like 30% done with that. I mean, E3 still has to come up, so we're waiting on that. Timeless wallet campaigns, we're jumping on a few meetings this week, so around 30-40%, I want to say. And for the creative grantees, I mean, that still has to come, NFT LA and Miami. So I'm already reaching out to some people. I want to say 15-20% around there, but that's towards the end of the month.
Great. Thank you, Danny.
Yes,
and last but not least, Boris.
Hello, everyone. Well, the fixing with the one wallet, you know, this week didn't move much. The other developers have been out 1 week, but I started to go through the GitHub for the integration directly with one wallet. So it moved, not as much as I wanted this week, but it's keep moving. The 200 students for LATAM is something I committed to Stephen and Denver. So we had very good meetings last week, and we are trying to get a partnership with a group of online Web3 platform in Mexico, and they're bringing a lot of students from the biggest public university in Mexico, probably the biggest public university in Latin America. It's called the UNAM in Mexico. So it looks promising, and yeah, one of them is taking the March cohort of the course, and they will start working with us and keep an update version in Spanish of the CK group. I'm working with this with Hakuan directly. And the 50 grantees for at Rio, well, the scholars are there, people are there, the NFT workshop is there. All seems to be in place to get those 50 grantees. So I'm sure we will be able to achieve the goal of 50 grantees. So we just need to be in Rio and make it happen. So that's it.
All right. Thank you, Boris. I think that's everyone, all the full-time folks on this call. Just seeing if I missed anyone. I don't think so. For others who haven't had a chance to update, please go through and add your percentages. We'll do this at the beginning of every month. I think this is probably more useful than going through the launch dates. Those are useful as well. But I think you can get a lot more granular this way to see what each individual is going to be working on and committing to deliver by the end of the month. Okay. Sam, I know you touched on the DAO operations report. Did you want to add anything more to that?
Let's see. So DAO operations, I just want to flag this for everyone so you're aware of what's happening over here. So DAO ops is headed up by myself, but I have several people who are big helpers in this. Number one, all of you guys are, because of all the various different projects that you're all doing to bring in DAOs across the board. It gives us an opportunity to learn. It gives us an opportunity to figure out what's working, what's not. DAO operations in general is broken up into two different departments. We have DAO funding and DAO tooling. DAO funding, the person who usually leads that up a lot is Mikey, who's not on the call right now. He is recovering from Daoist Mexico City, making sure all that work that he's done there has been productive. And so we had a call on Friday where we went through it really quickly. This was a Twitter Spaces called the Harmony Download. Get it? And we did $4.2 million in funding, approved funding so far. And so that's just continuing to go, which is really exciting. So we're definitely keeping that flywheel moving. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do because there's still a lot of stuff going on. In addition to that, we have the DAO tooling. Now, I touched on that just briefly in my update. We're going to have 5 tools that are going to be online and usable for DAO tooling. But buried within those 5 tools, there's 2 things that we're also doing, that I'm doing, that are really vital for DAOs in general in Harmony. Number 1 is a landing page. And this landing page is being able to say, hey, I want to participate in a DAO, what DAOs exist? I need to do something with a DAO, what tools exist? Hey, I've heard about these mandates, but I feel like I don't know which ones exist and which ones don't. And so we're going to pull all of this stuff together and put it in one spot for everybody to be able to see very easily and very quickly. That's our DAO landing page. The second thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about is our DAO reputation identity management project. I've had this conversation multiple times with multiple people. When I was talking with Chaotic Beauty, aka Dylan at ETHDenver, he got really excited about this. And so I think we are going to do a bounty for the Bridge Builders DAO to build us an integration between what we do in Coordinate and a non-transferable token, so that as you work in DAOs, you will earn reputation points into your Web3 wallet, which will then be able to go anywhere you want, and other DAOs can use that as ways to weight your vote. So if I'm an expert in developing and I go into a developer DAO, my 5,000 reputation points as a developer will be weighted more than, you know, Leo's 3 points as a developer, because Leo doesn't know how to develop. That's a joke, Leo, you're amazing. But the point is that is the way that we are actually, I think, will differentiate Harmony DAOs in general, is having this tool where we have this identity that's not based on something you know, it's not based on something you have or something you are, it's based on something you've done. And that right there, I think will be a huge differentiator. And so I'm kicking off that work with probably the Bridge Builders DAO here this week as well. So that gives you a quick update. And also just let's welcome Rachel onto the call. Let's see, Devin is on the call. Devin's also part of our DAO doing. And Mikey is he's not on this call because he's dealing with Daoist. So that's the DAO, kind of the DAO operations team.
Thank you, Sam. Anything else anyone wants to talk about before we go to the breakout rooms?
I actually, I wanted to remind everybody that we have an event sign up sheet online that I posted, and I can repost it again. If anybody wants to go to an event, please put your name on that list. It's not for sure just whether or not you're willing to go, so that we can know who to coordinate and who to work with to getting everybody where they need to be and where they want to go.
Awesome. Thank you, Essa.
I do want to flag something on that really quickly. Lee, don't we have a little bit of a restriction with going to events, correct? Like I can't go to every single event, even if I want to.
Yeah, so the guideline is for the core team, think about one major event a quarter that you really want to be at. Of course, there's gonna be local events like in San Francisco and LA, wherever we live, and that's not counted towards your quota. But really think about focusing on events, and we'll do this both on an individual level, but also on the team level. Like it makes, if we're gonna do one, we should really dedicate time for the major ones where we get the most value, and then for the others, like there's gonna be so many more crypto events throughout the year that we should pick and choose. And then and for the people that are going, we're continuing Project Y for the rest of the year at least. So you'll be actively giving out grants to folks. Every event will probably have slightly different parameters just based on the local context. Like for Rio, I think Boris already mentioned, we're going to try to give out at least 60 grants because there'll be 6 small teams. So yeah, so that's the guideline. So think about that.
One thing I wanted to suggest real quick, Essa, was maybe adding a list of roles per event that you're looking to fill. So, you know, like for one event, maybe like E3O or whatever, you mentioned something like role number 1 would be like DAO specialist, another one would be like grants, another one would be like manning the booth, and just so might make it easier so it's not so much of a free for all, but we just make sure that we're like targeting very specific tasks that need to be that need attention during the event. Just an idea.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
I think Maddie should chime in because he's writing a whole Notion doc.
Actually, I do want to ask Maddie to talk about something unrelated, or Jack, about the upcoming performance reviews. If you could just tell everyone about the dates and what to expect.
Sure. So just a reminder again, we spoke about this last week. On March 14, which is next Monday, is when we hope that everybody on the core team will be able to provide feedback to those that you have worked with, especially the ones that you work with closely, so that your feedback has a lot more context, a lot more relevance to your peers' performance. So be ready for that coming out next week. I'll continue to send the template of where that's going to go to before March 14. It's actually ready to go, sitting in a document. So that's when it's going to start. And following 2 weeks is when the review happens and the through coordinate, and then followed by the adjustments at the end of the month. Maddie, anything else to add there?
No, that actually was a great synopsis. Yeah, that's great.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Anything else before we wrap up? Okay. All right, everyone. I'm going to send you to your breakout rooms. Have a great week. Speak to you all soon.
Great week.